Hey Luana, my name's Daphne. Good to hear from you again, and thank you for getting involved on the course. It's lovely to be working with you. I understand that it's difficult for you to write 2 essays at once because you're working and you're a mum. Completely understand that. This time you're doing 2 task 2s, which take a long time. Next time it will be 1 task 2, 1 task 1. Hopefully that will be a bit quicker for you. It does help us if we get them both together, and then we can just keep an eye on your progress. So doing an enjoyable activity with a child can develop better skills and more creativity than reading. To what extent do you agree? So to what extent you have to say, I strongly agree, or so that really needs to be in the conclusion, I strongly believe, or I firmly believe. So that is very important in terms of the style of the essay. So it's been a controversial issue over the last decade to define which are the best activities for children to let new abilities, to let new abilities and imagination flourish. So that has to go there. And rather than let, I would go to encourage, or in better, enable new abilities and imagination flourish, whether reading or other funnier tasks. Not funnier. Funnier is ha-ha. You mean more fun. And it is different. More fun is more entertaining. Funnier is ha-ha. But let's change that word. More challenging or stimulating. Let's get into a bit of a higher level word, yeah? In my opinion, this varies by individual, so that parents and educators should find out what the children prefer to do as recreational activities. Okay, here you should actually have singular, what the child, not children. I know it is lots of children, but because you mentioned individual, it has to be one child. Okay, nice, good start there. Interesting. Advocates of reading books and comics often point out that they make extremely stimulating hobby for youth. Okay. Now I've used stimulating there, but why don't you have a mentally stimulating? Get this idea of mentally stimulating hobby for now youth. I think you need to go youngsters. For me, this essay is very much child, not teenagers, so I would use that word, youngsters. This is because when the child can imagine all the details, scenes and pictures, and picture the complex characters, reading can be deeply inspiring, brilliant. All over the world, it's common for more introspective and timid children, and as well as adolescents, go as well as, to spend hours reading bestsellers designed for their age group. And by doing this, let's get into this building skills and creativity bit. By doing this, imagination and creative elements of the brain can grow. I'm putting that in because it's important that you keep this idea of developing skills. And this makes sure that you're answering the question correctly. When it comes to young people with these characteristics, reading is certainly more effective. Absolutely. Okay, collective or team activities. Just make really clear what you're saying. Really nice. I love that paragraph. Good work. Undoubtedly, children are more likely to learn new talents. Besides developing imagination, by doing activities they're already interested in. Preposition there, interested in. Okay? And you could put activities or hobbies. If the pupils do not like to read, a reading education strategy will not be successful for them. For instance, nice one, not be successful for them and may even act as a deterrent. Okay? For instance, more sensitive and extrovert children tend to prefer doing artistic activities such as painting or handcrafts or practicing more interact. Yep, good, respectively. For those, more now sensitive and extrovert are are usually contradictory. I get that sensitive would prefer doing artistic, but extrovert would prefer maybe doing that sort of thing. So I'm not sure about that word. I'm not sure about that choice of word, such as hide and seek, are key in the learning process. Good, and should be enabled by adults as much as possible. Remember, we need to have this idea of doing an activity with a child. Keep checking that question. Keep checking, am I answering the question? Okay, this is super important. So it's the parent that has to make sure, like, take that child to do that activity kind of thing. And we're absolutely on the right track. Sorry, what's wrong with that spelling? Absolutely on the right track there. I like that paragraph. It would be good to add an example. Ben will talk to you about adding examples, and it's a really important part of the essay. So, for example, here you could put some research or a study that supports that argument. Okay. In conclusion, you need to get into the I strongly. So I strongly believe or agree that choosing the more enriching and productive activity really depends on the child. In future, I hope more adults will be aware of children's differences. Good. That's apostrophe S there. And capable of offering. Now watch out then. It's the same as interested in. Dependent preposition. Capable of offering customized education for them to let their best selves emerge. Okay, good, nice one. That is a really nice essay. My comment would be it's very well organised. Okay, so really happy on there. Good range of vocabulary. A couple of times you just got the wrong word choice. Most carefully make sure you're answering the question exactly what they want you to answer. Okay, you could put some examples of the other things people could do. You've got artistic things, but what skills are they going to help you learn? So socialization, maybe, as well as teamwork and competition. You know, keep thinking of what are the skills that they will be learning. Okay, but good essay. I really like that. So well done there. Some people think schools have to be more entertaining, while others think their sole purpose is to educate. Which do you agree with? Okay. There are those, you've got a word missing here, who believe that education institutions should amuse their students, while others think they were designed for. Watch out, so we've got quite a few here. Dependent prepositions. Okay. Here, I'll put it here. Capable of offering, interested in, designed for. Watch out those. The pure transfer of knowledge. Amuse or distract. I like how you're changing the words. In my opinion, pure transfer of knowledge, a bit more useful for university and future careers. In my opinion, although the school's main function is to instruct, if teachers manage it by entertaining, they can forge a further involvement of their pupils. Okay. By entertaining, I maybe managed to do it in an exciting and stimulating way. They could forge, definitely could, not can. And I'm just moving that word entertaining because we've got to try and avoid that word basically. Advocates for more traditional methodology of learning often point out that educators should prioritise covering the whole. So after prioritise, you want an ing. I'm going to underline it again because it's similar to this, the whole school curriculum. They claim this. They claim that, since parents can easily entertain their children at home. They claim this since, okay, hang on. They claim this as, no, not since, as parents can easily entertain their children at home. However, they would not be able to perform the teacher's role properly for lack of academic knowledge or availability of time. Good. Really nice sentences, lovely writing. Apparently entertain their children at home. However, they, the parents, will not be able to perform the teacher's role properly for lack of academic or availability of time. For instance, in Brazil, the syllabus to teach literacy is so dense and complex that it allows little free time for the students to have fun during regular classes. However, it is not the case to set aside a period to play, but rather to apply a more pleasant. Absolutely. However, the argument surrounds not just, let's do a nice thing, not just setting aside, look, this is nice grammar in here, well done, not just setting, not just setting aside a period to play, but rather applying, again, a more pleasant teaching strategy. That gets you into really quite nice grammar there. Rather, the argument surrounds not just setting aside a period to play, but rather, applying a more teaching. That would be very nice high-level grammar. Well done. You're doing really well. I like your writing. Undoubtedly, enjoyment and motivation are key elements of the learning process. When it comes to catching, same thing here. So you need to really revise the INGs, okay? It is gerund is what they call it. So gerund versus infinitive. And there is no pattern, it is just learning it. I'm really sorry. It's a tricky one. The way to explain the subject is of crucial importance. Besides the effectiveness in the acquiring of acquisition of knowledge, the more committed the students are, the more successful are they. Excellent. In this regard, recent studies from Harvard found that when students develop interest in going to school due to creative activities, they are twice as likely not to miss school. We would say not to miss lessons, actually. Not to miss lessons, and consequently, the higher their grades are. That needs to come here. The higher their grades are, which proves that traditional ways of learning are nearly obsolete. Okay, recent studies showed that when students develop interest in going to school due to creative activities, maybe not due to, thanks to more creative, let's get some more adjectives in here, challenging and student-led activities, they are twice as likely not to miss lessons. Good, okay. Consequently, no, I'm sorry, looking at that again, I'm going to go their grades are higher. Which proves that traditional ways, good. Are nearly obsolete. They're not, but maybe they should be. In conclusion, although the school's relevance to not although. It's not although. It's regardless of. Despite the school's continued relevance to educate, tutors should find more attractive ways to cover the syllabus. Good. To ensure motivation and successful outcomes. Okay, in the future. Okay, I really like that. Well done. You've written 2 super essays, Luana. Really, really good. Can you just give me a bit of background, okay? Why you're doing this exam, what grade you need, have you done it before? That really helps. Okay, great. Have a good weekend.